Hello and welcome to another edition of AttractWell Office Hours. I'm Coach Ashley. Today we're joined by founder of AttractWell, Greg Kilwine. Hey, Greg.
Hello, everyone. We're glad you're here today.
We sure are. We're thrilled to have you. Today we're going to be talking about challenges, how you can run and host challenges in your AttractWell account. As you're coming in, we would love to hear where in the world you are. This is a live session that we host every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and it is for anyone who is growing a coaching, consulting, service-based or course business. If you are an expert of any kind and you are looking to grow yourself online with your own brand and, of course, smart systems, this is the place for you. You can get started with us for your first month for $1 at attractwell.com. And of course, we have this training and resources and an entire YouTube channel full of not just trainings, but also templates that you can use and all kinds of great shortcuts to help you save time and get more out of the time you put into your business. So today we're talking about challenges. If you are planning to host a challenge, or if it's something that you're interested in doing at some point, this is a great time to think about it as we're filming this right now in November. We've got the first of the year coming up quickly, and that is a fantastic time to run a challenge, whether that be for engaging your community, for your lead generation, if you want this to be something that you offer for free. And of course, challenges, because of the accountability aspect, are a phenomenal way for you to engage your existing clients and help them to get better results from the things that you do with them. Challenges are often seen in the wellness space, where we talk about building habits, but they can be used in all kinds of different settings. And if you are someone who is sharing with your audience how to improve their life or their business in some particular way, challenges are a great way to get that done. And it provides an excellent way to engage and get more interaction with the folks that you are connecting with. So what I'm going to do is open up some slides, and we're going to go through some of those, and then we'll actually go show and tell inside of the system as well, so that you can learn and see how this stuff will work for you in AttractWell. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that, Mark. Hi. Maybe we can talk later. Click the wrong screen. I'm actually going to get out of video and share screen here, and we're going to get into some slides. All right, so today we're talking about how to run challenges with AttractWell. We're going to be talking about what that looks like in the form of mini challenges and course style challenges. And then we'll talk about what's needed to create and run each kind of challenge with AttractWell. And then, of course, as always, we have live help in Q&A if you're looking for support, if you're looking for guidance, or you want some eyes on what you're working on. This is a great opportunity to work together. So just let us know in the Q&A if you have questions as we go through today's call. And also head into the chat, introduce yourself. Where in the world are you and who do you serve? What do you do? And if you have questions, if you'd like to work together on anything during our time together on this call, you can go to the Q&A directly here live on Zoom so that we can work through those with you. They do not have to be limited to today's topic. And if you'd like to work together live and perhaps schedule a time to work on a particular topic, subject, page, project together, you can go to attractwell.com/work review, and we can get together on a call just like this one. And you can get on the list at attractwell.com/office hours if you're watching this on YouTube in the future and you would like to join us on one of these live sessions. Again, we are live every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, question for you guys here. Have you run a challenge before? Or have you been a part of a challenge before? What did that look like for you? And then if you're interested in having a challenge, what do you want to do with it, right? How would you want for a challenge to work for your business? What do you want to get out of doing a challenge? Do you want better client outcomes? Do you want to grow your engagements? Do you want to grow your list? Maybe a little bit of all of them. What would you like to get out of a challenge? So let's talk about running challenges in AttractWell. First, there's several different kinds of challenges, right? There is no book on what a challenge is and is not. So that's a first and important thing to know, is that your way is the right way, and so is theirs and everyone else's. But what I'm going to kind of break down the potential sort of challenge formats here into today are a low interaction, versus high interaction. They're both good and for different purposes, and we'll kind of get into what that means. First, we've got the low interaction challenge. So this is going to be an email or a text series that has its content contained inside of those emails and texts. So what this might look like is if you are a yoga instructor and you are doing a 10-day sun salutation challenge, then every morning a campaign message is going to go out for 10 days with some kind of inspirational image that reminds them to do their sun salutation, maybe links to a video that teaches them how to do it, and then tells them to maybe hit reply and tell me that you did yours today, right? That's a low interaction challenge where we're just basically providing a way for people to opt in and basically get a reminder with maybe a little bit of encouragement or instruction that's sent to them via a message. And that would be an email or text sent from AttractWell. These are fantastic for lead generation and top of funnel work, right? So if you're trying to get more stuff happening, more engagement with people who are following you and who need to see how you're positioned, who you're for, what you do, this is a really cool way for you to grow your list and to build trust with people who are already on it, right? Now, high interaction, this is going to look more like a course, right? This is going to be something like a video series along with an email and text. If the challenge is promising perhaps an outcome that is a little bit more complicated to achieve, this is something that requires a bit more interaction. There's going to be more content that goes into it. It is really going to behave like a course. You're just going to have elements of it that are going to engage in a sequence like a low interaction version would, so that people are engaging with that content on a daily or weekly basis, or however you have your challenge structured. A great reason to use a high interaction challenge is for the purpose of accountability. I think that the real value in using challenges, aside from being able and getting permission to show up in someone's inbox on a daily basis and with them opening the email, which is really great for your email sending authority. But the real benefit here is to provide someone an experience that's going to get them a better outcome than they would have had if they were going it alone. And accountability is key there. And so this is a great way for you to build community and engage and to help people get better outcomes than they would have if they were just watching some videos and maybe or maybe not taking action. And of course, because of the amount of investment that really goes into this, this is a great, and that's an investment on your part of time and money and resources. These are going to be great for paid programs and as a value add for your clients. So your pre-work is to figure out first, if you're going to have a challenge, what is the path to profit in having one? Is this something that's going to get people engaged and into action and thinking about a topic so that you can launch your program and have those be the first people that you promote to? I've seen that work a lot. That's a really cool thing you can do, is to sort of have a free or low cost challenge that that you're engaging people in. It's easy for them to kind of warm up to and engage with. It's fun, it's interactive. And then at the end of the challenge, you say, I'm going to give you an exclusive code or, you know, some kind of an exclusive bonus if you jump into this bigger program, right? Your path to profit may be that you just simply want to build authority and engagement with a list, right? In which case, what you're really trying to do is build the top end of your funnel so that more people can make it down to the paid offerings that you have. Another option would, again, have the challenge really be a course unto itself. So maybe a 90-day challenge to achieve some kind of an outcome in their body, in their life, in their business. You also want to, of course, determine the outcome, right? Because, you know, we're doing a challenge because they want something from it. Otherwise, we're just telling them to work. So what's the outcome? And then what is the timeline? Are we doing sun salutations in the morning for 10 days? Are we remembering to take a particular supplement or vitamin or an essential oil or something like that every day for a certain number of days? Are we doing cold outreach and reaching out to people for business? a certain number of, times a week for a certain number of weeks. What does that look like for you? And what is it going to do for them? And then critically, what are the steps and the intervals? So is it, you do one thing every day, or is it you do three things every week, right? What are the steps and intervals that achieve the outcome? And then, of course, what are the tools and instructions that you need to provide so that they can perform these steps inside of that timeline to get the outcome that they came for? And then, of course, if you're going to be using accountability, then you want to determine what that looks like. Should they be posting in a group? Should they be hitting reply to your email? Do they need to be uploading something into a vault? Whatever that might look like, you want to determine that here as well. So low interaction or mini challenges are going to entail creating a campaign in AttractWell. And a campaign is it's a series of messages that are dripped out in a sequence over a set of intervals, right? And this can be email, text, or both. That's going to go out for the duration of the challenge. So if you're going to have an initial welcome email that says our challenge starts tomorrow, here's what you need to make sure you're ready to do. The next day you show up and here's what you do today, the next day, and so on, right? So you can have that be email, text, or both. You want to, of course, include that one message the day before, and then at least one or two messages after the challenge has ended so that you can upsell or move them to the next thing, right? That's why we have to determine first what our path to profit is. If we're making this thing, how is it going to grow our bottom line? And that doesn't necessarily have to mean that it literally creates money, right? This doesn't have to be a thing that you sell, but is it something that can be a tool to get better client outcomes, which increases your retention, your referrals, and so on? Or is this something that helps to facilitate and warm up a list for the sale of something new, right? So make sure that you have included in this campaign, in your low interaction or mini challenge, a few messages that are going to allow you to introduce and then ultimately sell this next stage, this next thing that you're working on. Now, once you have that campaign created, you're going to attach that to a page that sells the challenge, or if that campaign is designed to be a text-in campaign, then you would add a text-in keyword to that campaign to deliver it via text message. So I'm going to switch my share and let's go over and look at campaigns in AttractWell here briefly. And let's talk about what it would look like to set something like this up. All right, so we're going to go to campaigns over here under contacts. And then we're going to, I'm actually curious if I have a challenge in here already. I don't. Okay, so I'm going to hit create. And I'm going to call this 10-day sun salutation challenge. All right, so I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it over here because this is what they're going to see when they manage their subscriptions from you. We can set it up for whatever our preference. I want this to be email because I'm going to be including gifts and links and maybe some educational resources and things like that. So I'm going to allow this to go out. Actually, I'm going to choose email preferred. If for whatever reason I have email and text information for this person, but they aren't receiving emails, then they would get this via text if it didn't go out via email. I'm going to create the campaign. And then that's going to take us over here to where we can actually build our campaign messages. So our first message is going to be a confirmation. So this is where you're going to say, you're in, I'm so excited for you. Here are the details, right? So we're going to create that message, add whatever you'd like to the body of the message. We'll create another one. And this is going to be our day one. And of course, you put whatever your day one information is in here. We hit add message when we're done modifying this. And then we need to go in and make sure that it is set up for day one. So just enter one here or use this, these little arrows, click off to the side, and it'll update. Now, if you've created some really nice formatting in day one and you would like to use that as a template for your next messages, click this little copy button here, and we're just going to call it day two. Right? And then go into the message and then make any changes that you'd like. Now you can use saved replies for this from either to use the modular approach to just pop in interesting things like this into the body of the email. You can also, of course, use that for all of your challenge emails. So we'll save the changes. And then of course we need to go back here and make sure that our day 2 is in fact delivering on that next day, right? So we'll set this up for the duration of the campaign. Now, this is important. If we go to advanced settings right here, this is where we actually get to choose what time of day these messages go out. And if you choose to have some go out maybe via text and some via email, you can make those changes here. You just have to make sure that you are collecting, if you're doing a both email and text campaign, that you are requiring that they put in a mobile number and their email when they sign up. So we can do a specific time of day. This is based on 5 p.m. Central is the default time. So these are Central time. You just have to do a slight amount of math with a time zone calculator, figure out what that looks like. So I'm going to do this at, let's see, 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern. And so I want to send that out in the morning each day. Right? And so we can do this for the duration of the challenge. One more thing, if you are doing this live, if you're going to have a live challenge, you can set this to start on a specific date. And if you're doing that, my recommendation would be that you pick the day before the challenge for this to start, right? So we're going to use this and we're going to go, let's just say that we want our challenge to start on January. Let's go look at 2023. Here we go. So we wanted to start on January 2nd. That's a Monday. So if we want them to get that day 1 message on Monday the 2nd, we're going to make our campaign start on the 1st. And you can actually see that right down here. Now, day 0 is always going to send right away. So whatever you put here, whenever they sign up, they're going to receive that immediately. If you are setting up a challenge that you're allowing people to sign up for more than a week or a week and a half in advance, I do recommend that you have additional messages that go out ahead of time, maybe getting them excited about it, sharing with them what they might want to purchase, add your affiliate links in there, letting them know what they need to prepare for. Right. So in which case, let's just say, for instance, we want this to begin on, we want these emails to start going out on January 2nd, but I want their emails ahead of time to start going out sooner. So let me go ahead and write an email in here real quick that's going to say, get excited. Our challenge starts next week. Right. So after I've got that message made, obviously you want to have a body to that message. I want this to go out. Let's look at our calendar here. I want this to go out the week before. And so that's going to be here on the 26th of December. And then what I'm going to need to do is just modify the dates on these, right? This is going to go out on the 27th. Or actually, I'm going to put this on the 25th because it's going to deliver that message on that Monday, the 26th. And then I'm going to change this one. I believe this would be to 7. Let's go see what that does. That's January 1st. So this is actually going to be 8. Perfect. All right. So that's going to go out on January 2nd. And then I'm going to change this one to 9. So now you can see that what they're going to get immediately is an email that says, hey, you've got access. 1 week before the challenge, we're going to, oops, this one should be 1 and this one should be 8. My bad. Here we go. 1 week before the challenge, they're going to get this email that says, get started. Our challenge starts next week. Then, of course, they start receiving their day 1, day 2, and so on. And those would actually be set up as 8, 9, and 10 forward because we want them to start receiving the marketing messages 1 week before this actual challenge starts. Okay, so that is what that would look like. And now in order to actually get this done and to have people sign up for it, we have 2 options. If this is something that you're offering for free, you could go to a landing page and you can have people join the challenge here. Might want to create a nice little image here for it. You could say join the challenge. right? And then start date January 2, 2023. Save your seat now, right? And then under the settings here, we would go to our campaign and find that challenge, right? And then we would want to add any tags and so on. And then, of course, change it to the yoga challenge, right? It's New Year's Yoga Challenge. And of course, I'm going to also do this, right? Definitely send them to a confirmation page when they sign up for anything on your website. Hit done, hit save. And now when you view it and people opt in here, they're going to automatically start receiving those emails. Now, if you want to charge for a challenge like this that is low interaction, you can certainly do that. You'll just want to set up a page in your AttractWell account. Maybe we'll use this Jenna homepage here. We just want to swap out the information here about what we'll learn and what we'll get and all of that kind of great stuff. And then in the settings here, under leads, we're going to attach that campaign and then add those tags and the confirmation page here as well. And then finally, you do want to make sure you have a payment processor set up, but you can set up your payments here as well. Now, if you want to learn more about setting up payments, we do have several trainings on our channel about how to sell things. So type in the word sell or type in the word sales, and you'll see that we also have a template for sales pages as well if you want to sell a challenge. All right, so let's get back to our slides here and look at what it's going to take to deliver a high interaction course style challenge. The first thing that we're going to want to do is create an online class inside of a vault. And that's going to drip a lesson per day for the duration of the challenge. Another option would be to just plan to go live on Zoom for your daily interaction and content. You can, of course, then take those recordings from Zoom, add them to your Vimeo or whatever other video hosting account you prefer to use, and then add those to the online classes. And you could eventually use those for an evergreen challenge purpose in the future if you'd like. You can then, like I just showed you, create a date-based campaign that sends timed reminders for them to join the live calls, to participate in accountability, or even to just go in and check and open a class and watch day 1 or day 2 or what have you inside of the vault. And of course, when you set up the vault, we're going to attach this campaign to the vault. You can also utilize Vault discussion rooms for interaction and pages in the Vault for things like resources. So if you're recommending products and things like that that are used during the challenge, you could use those for that purpose. And then, of course, you want to create a sales page for the challenge and attach the Vault to the page. So let's go take a look at those things just so we can be clear on what that looks like inside of AttractWell, just from a general overview perspective. So if we go back over to our dashboard here, the first thing that you're going to want to do is create an online class if you're going to have short videos for your challenge. So let's just say, for instance, here's the Life by Design challenge. Already got this one made. Basically, all you got to do is create a class. You add content by adding a new lesson. You give it a title. If you have a video, you pop it in here. If you've got instructions, it goes in here. Give it a category if you'd like. If you want discussion, you can add it. If you want additional accountability, if this is really a course style format, then you could require homework be uploaded. And then, of course, you have downloads options. So I have here how to use this challenge, what to expect, and then our day 1, day 2, day 3, and so on. Now, you do have the option of just having them required to complete the lessons in order. The other option that you do have, and if you do this, I recommend, if you're using a campaign for reminders, I recommend that your campaign reflects the sequence that you have set up inside of this, this online class. So if we have, after a certain number of days have passed for each lesson, so how to use this challenge, let's click this one. And in here, let me see. I think I have to save that first for that to work. Here, let me go save. Okay, so these, see where it says day immediately? What we're going to want to do is go into your actual lesson and the number of days before the lesson is available. This one's going to be immediate. What to expect will also be immediate. But then the number of days before the lesson is available, you can have 1 day, 2 days, and so on. I would recommend that you only utilize this after a certain number of days if you're running an evergreen challenge or if you aren't adding folks to the vault until it's time for the challenge to start, right? Because this is going to be based on when someone enters the vault. Okay, so you can have it set up this way to where it is drip based. You will make your life a little bit easier to just have it be one thing at a time, and then just send out those emails and have the accountability there. So the next thing that you're going to want to do is create a vault. And I actually have one here that's already created, this Life by Design Challenge. Vaults are pretty simple to set up. We do have a course that we can add you to. It's called How to Build Your Online Course that shows you exactly how to go through and make all of these modifications and setups in a really simple way to fill the use cases that you're looking for your program or challenge. So inside of this vault, we've got all of our pertinent information. I've got a page here that's giving them expectations for the challenge and how things are going to work, right? And giving them links to everything else that's happening. We've got that online class, and all we did was go to add content, and then we're going to add an existing online class, or if you're starting by creating a vault, you can create a new class. And then, of course, we have our discussion room that we've created as well, where you can have all kinds of information. And we can actually go in, and I believe I can show you a completed version of this. Here we go. So start here is a page. Got some instructions, and then we're telling them what we want them to do next. Life by Design Challenge. This is our actual challenge content. Pretty cool. And then we've got our discussion room, which behaves very similarly to a Facebook group where you can schedule posts, you can use images, you can add video, you can tag each other. Lots of really, really cool stuff here. Now, going back to the setup of this vault, what we want to finally do here is all the way down here in our vault setup, we want to attach our challenge campaign. So that was 10-day sun salutation challenge. Let's pretend that that's it, right? And actually in this case, sorry, that's not what we want to do. We have to use a welcome to vault. We want to use an automation to add that one. So let me go back to built-in welcome to vault campaign. Tell you what, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get out of here real quick. I want to show you how you can turn your challenge campaign into one that is also attached to your vault. All right. So this is a pretty cool thing that you can do. If you go over to your campaigns, we have our sun salutation challenge right here, right? So we know what that is. We're going to go and find a vault campaign that's already inside of AttractWell. We're going to, it's this one right here. We're going to make a copy of this. And this is going to be the yoga challenge vault campaign. Now it's there, right? And now we're going to reuse existing messages from our other messages, right? So this is going to be, get excited. Our challenge starts next week. There we go. And then we can reuse our day 1, right? Day 2, and so on. So you can actually build a campaign that you can attach straight to your vault. So we'll go over here and we'll connect this one. That is, where did it go? Right here. So now we have our yoga challenge vault, and that's ready to go, right? And then if you want to set this up for payment, of course, if you want to sell this, you can go to payment setup here, require payment to access the vault. And then of course you need to have a payment processor set up and you can select those different payment options. Again, in our How to Build Your Online course, we talk about how you can set this up. So all of those instructions are there for you when you're ready. All right, getting back into our slides here. Oh yeah, and then finally the sales page. On our YouTube channel, if you go to our YouTube channel and you type in the word sales, if you search the word sales, you will see that we actually have a full sales page training and template that you can use, and you can sell your challenge using that page. All right, now let's just a quick note here. If you prefer to run challenges in a Facebook group, some folks do like to do this. And this is, I think, especially helpful if you're trying to run a challenge for the purpose of growing your list and engaging leads, right? If it's not something that you want to sell. Sometimes Facebook groups can be a helpful place for this if that's where your people are hanging out already. So what I want to encourage you to do is to use AttractWell to get people registered for the challenge and then to communicate reminders. So use that campaign strategy that I shared with you, create that campaign, that time-based campaign. And then of course, require them to register, and then you'll add them to the private challenge Facebook group or something to that effect. All right. So if you guys have any questions, obviously we can get into those together. If there's any of this that you would like to see walked through in any greater detail, I want to encourage you to maybe add any questions that you have to the Q&A. If you're curious about how you might run a challenge for a particular purpose, we can talk through those. That is definitely something that I help with and consult with folks who use our platform on a regular basis. You know, so a challenge for a yoga teacher is going to look quite different than a challenge for a business coach, right? Or if you're a software developer or you're a writer and you're working with writers or software developers rather. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit different for you. Let us know in the chat, what kind of challenge could you see yourself posting? What's an outcome that you might be able to help someone in your audience achieve inside of a relatively short period of time? Maybe something that they could achieve pretty easily, but they're not taking the steps on their own because nobody's holding them accountable. What does an outcome like that look like for your audience? That's the perfect kind of thing to use for a challenge. There's also lots of little problems that people deal with, right? So maybe you help women to manage their stress. Well, there's a lot that goes into stress management, right? So maybe you have a sleep challenge, right? It sounds a little silly, but the outcomes there are huge, right? But you know what you do there is if obviously I hope you're an affiliate for products, right? But you can have a list of things that you want them to use, and then maybe each week you're teaching them a new habit to incorporate into their nighttime routine, and then you're just sending them maybe a campaign at 8 p.m. right? That a message that goes out every day at 8 p.m. that reminds them, hey, don't forget to take your melatonin or something. And, you know, here's my favorite sleep meditation that I'd love for you to listen to today, right? Just little things like that that you can do. And that is, again, that's the kind of thing that you can use 24/7. It could be a completely evergreen thing. If you're using a campaign that's just kind of dripping that information out based on the day that they opted in to receive that information. All right, let's see if you guys have any questions. If you have any questions, please do let us know. We don't want to keep you here any longer than necessary. And then, yeah, if you have anything else that you'd like to look at, if you want support in looking at something that you're working on your website or in your business right now, we've got open session here for that here for the next few minutes. And then we'll be on our way and start creating challenges for the new year. I'm really interested to hear if you guys plan on maybe hosting any challenges for the new year for your audience or for your clients, and what some of those outcomes might be. And by the way, if you're still kind of mulling on this and thinking about what you might do, I really encourage you to head over to our Facebook group and maybe share a little bit about what you have in mind and ask the community if they have anything they'd like to share back with you, because there are definitely a lot of folks in our community who use challenges for all the purposes that we've talked about today. And we've got just an incredibly generous community of people who would be happy to share what's working with them with you. So I'm excited for you guys. I hope to see you challenging yourselves and, of course, your clients and your audience going into the new year with better habits. And of course, I want to challenge you to do something new today in your system that you haven't done yet. Try something new that you haven't tried yet, and then come back here. We'll be back here same time next week, and let's talk about what you've created, what you've started, and how you might want to improve on things as they're working in your business right now. All right, you guys, we're going to let you go on and have a fantastic week. I can't wait to see what you come up with for your challenges, and we'll see you back here next Thursday.